in the sound in the opening of Inception, there was the diegetic sound of children's laughter, which was used to create an eerie, kind of naive feel to the film. And there's also the sound of a ticking clock, suggesting that time was against Leonardo DiCaprio's character. The camera was blurry, suggesting his state of mind not being complete, which will be good for our film. In iconography, there was use of guns, and towards the end of the film, the lighting was very dark.
Right, we presented our film, the first draft, to an audience of 20 to 45-year-olds, and this is the feedback we got. The first point they made was that the shots needed to be tighter, as they were quite long. In particular, the shot of the landscape, which was out of focus, we needed to shorten that down. However, they did like the idea of an out of focus shot. They also said the titles didn't work. They said that they were unprofessional and they hadn't seen them before. So we're going to make our titles fit more in with our research. The CCTV scene, they wanted more of them. So we're doing more CCTV scenes, and they wanted to make more of a link with the storyline. So we're going to, one idea was making the CCTV man, like the person behind that, part of the film. So we're going to make the Doctor join the CCTV man to show how the plot is very corrupt. The other thing that the audience said was that they were unsure what the storyline was fully, although they did understand most of it. So we're going to have a voiceover for the girl who's losing her mind, so it can be explained a bit more. And so from the feedback, we decided we're going to watch another psychological thriller called Shutter Island, and we're going to get some inspiration on titles. But an idea that we'd recently come up with is using medical notes as the names of the cast and crew. And also we're going to work on sound bridging the whole thing to give more of a sense of narrative.
From my Black Swan research, which is an American psychological thriller and horror, the opening 5 minutes shows a swan lake being performed by the head swan, which is Natalie Portman. The scene's very dark and only a bit of small light is shining through. As she's the lead ballet dancer, which this is usual to opening scenes that are psychological thrillers, and it usually builds the tension slowly before it gets deeper into the story, which becomes darker as the story developed. The main cast go through a bit of a traumatic experience, and this is at the start, which carries on throughout the film. And the usual genre conventions are for it to be dark, to have low lighting, and it follows the central character through the story, which is the main part of the film, using traumatic and harsh experiences. And also there's a lot of guns. There's also a lot of planning and surrounding shots of desolate places that are quite isolated, which goes around the panning shots that are also dark. And the audience sort of expects iconography to be dark as it follows the storyline. So the usual iconography of the male or woman of the lead character, it shows a traumatic part of their life, which is Natalie Portman going through like an alter ego between the Black Swan and the Swan Queen, whose experiences throughout the film change as she becomes the Black Swan. The audience sees a dark path which leads onto the psychological thriller part of the film. And the mise-en-scene is quite unusual to some psychological thrillers because it has a contrast between black and white when her alter egos are coming out in her dance, which shows her to have deep red eyes and black makeup